Hi peeps, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about changing directions in the road when you need to. And I'm being helped by my Kaylee here, who already helped destroy the first video I tried. So we'll see if we can make it through this one. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so now. Let's see, hit the bell so you get notified when I get new when I have new videos out. And if you would, give this video a thumbs up if you like it, because that helps me. So do all those things and settle in, and we will get started here in a minute. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about changing lanes when you need to. As I told you a few days ago, earlier this week, I had to change plans with the Blood Queen series and put it on hold because things just weren't coming together right. I struggled with the first part of that book. I struggled with 50,000 words, and I had written like 3 versions of the opening and first chapters, first few chapters. And nothing was working. It just wasn't working. It wasn't coming together. It wasn't making sense to me. I didn't feel any connection to the characters. Well, here's what happened. What happened was, when I originally conceived of the Blood Queen series, it was going to be something different than I tried to write. It was dark. It involved kind of a little bit of a plague of sorts, and it was dark. And so I had this whole concept for it and got it on my writing schedule and got it up for pre-order, and then the pandemic hit. And my first thoughts were, no, I am not writing a book that is that dark. I'm not writing a series that is that dark and that deals with somewhat of a plague situation during a pandemic. People don't want to read about plagues during a pandemic. I know I don't want to write about plagues during a pandemic. So what I did was I changed the concept. I came up with a different idea for it, and it sounded good to me when I thought of it. And the problem is, as I've said in several videos, I'm an intuitive writer. I already had the idea for the Blood Queen series. I knew what it needed to be, and I decided that it couldn't be that, so I decided to change it, and therein lies the problem. It did not work. Hi, I see you over there. For an intuitive writer, for an organic writer, pantser, if you will, if you decide to change lanes in the middle of something and try and make it something else and do so on a conscious level, generally you're going to find yourself sinking really fast. I sank 50,000 words worth. I wrote 50,000 words in 3 weeks and nothing. I mean, I sat there totally unclear of what the hell I was doing, because I'd written version after version and tried to make it fit, and then I tried to make the versions fit together, and it was like, this is not working. So I just went, I have to listen to my gut, and my gut says this needs to come at a later time, be what it originally was, what I had originally envisioned, or it needs to percolate longer and become something new, but I can't write it now. So after talking with some friends, authors, I pulled it, from pre-order, canceled the pre-orders, and set it aside. And I'm now going to work on something else that I've had an idea for a while. I've been excited about. And all the time I was trying to write Blood Roses, I was like, I wish I was working on that instead. I really do, because I'm feeling that book right now. I feel it. It's time for that book. And so I just decided I'm going to go with my instinct. Because when something isn't working, you can't bang your head against the wall until you're bleeding. You have to, at some point, admit that it's not working and say, I need to change things. I need to change directions. I need to turn and go this way instead of that way. There's a mountain in front of me, and I don't have the time or the energy to scale the mountain. And from where I'm standing, I can't see the path up the mountain. So, yeah. So sometimes you have to just acknowledge that things need to change and go into a different venue, different direction, different path. There are always times in our lives where we come to a cross point where what we've been doing isn't working anymore, or it isn't working at all, or it's falling apart, or we suddenly feel we made a huge mistake and we're sitting there going, I feel like I'm stuck in the mud and I don't know where I'm going. The best thing to do during those times, if you know you can't power through, and you know that if you power through, you'll still be unhappy, it will not be a good outcome. The book would have not been up to my standards, and I would have been unhappy releasing it. That you have to admit, and I'm going to call it defeat at this moment, turn around, go back, and start again on a different direction. Now, do I feel defeated? Not really, because I think if I had listened to my instinct in the first place, I would have realized this. I shouldn't have even started it, because I knew when I started it, it wasn't what I had originally meant it to be. It wasn't what I had originally envisioned. And I was like, okay, well, let's see. I'm good at making things work. Let's see if I can make it work. I knew, though, in my gut that it wasn't quite what I wanted. And that's why it felt wrong from the beginning. You really need to pay attention to your intuition. Now, unfortunately, for trad writers, for traditionally published writers, this is not always an option. Now, when I was writing the Fly By Night series, I wrote the first book and I turned it in. And I had it so that Alex and Shimmer did not get together till the very end of the first book. He was working through the relationship with Glinda, and she was trying to decide whether or not she was really wanted a relationship with someone who wasn't a dragon. It worked. It worked for me. It felt authentic. The publisher asked me to change it. They wanted them together at the beginning of the book. I was like, it's not going to feel right. It's not right. They haven't had the time to really get to know whether they want to be together. No. We think it would do better with the relationship starting at the beginning of the book. I argued some more. I really fought for that. I fought to not have to make that change. That was one of the times I lost. I had to make the change because they had that call. The book, I remember there were some reviewers that I actually agreed with when they said it felt forced. The relationship felt forced. It felt forced to me. They didn't want to be together at the beginning of the book. I had to make them be together because that's what the publisher wanted. And honestly, even in the second book, I didn't enjoy writing that at all because it felt forced, because it didn't feel like they should be together yet, or it felt like their relationship should just be at the beginning. I wasn't given that option. So with trad publishing, sometimes you aren't given the option to change directions. If I had said I can't write the book, I would have either had to pay back the advance, which we needed to live on, or I would have had to have it put off and not be published for another year, maybe, or more, if they would have allowed that. Or I could have gotten sued if I didn't turn in the book. Those things happen. So, my advice today is pretty much for indie authors. And it's another reason, just one more reason why I love being an indie author. Now I can make those decisions. I can make those calls. I can say, this is not right. This is not working. It needs more time. I can set it on the shelf and do something else. Does that feel good? Does that feel good? Isn't she pretty? Isn't my Kaylee just lovely? Yes, I'm a crazy cat lady. Sam's a crazy cat man. We love our kitties. So back to what I was saying is, in trad, you don't have those options a lot of times, and you have to power through and submit work that you aren't that happy with. It's happened to me, So yeah, I love being indie because I get to make decisions about what feels right and what doesn't. But I want you to take this advice also for just your everyday life. If it doesn't feel right for you to take a class at this time, maybe you should think twice about taking that class. If it doesn't feel right for you to go to a party, then say no. Listen to your instincts. Don't let fear derail you, because fear can. But there is a definite difference between, oh my God, I'm afraid to try that because I'm afraid to try that, and I don't want to do that because it doesn't feel right. If you get that surety in the pit of your stomach going, this doesn't feel right, listen to it. Your gut knows, your instinct knows what's right and what's wrong. And that can go for your writing, and it can go for your daily life, and it can go for friendships, for entertaining a friendship and beginning a friendship. If someone does not feel like they're someone you really want to be around, don't let someone else go. But they're so nice. I know them. They're really nice. If you don't feel comfortable with something, don't do it. I'm all about teaching people to trust your instincts and trust your gut, because that will lead you in the right direction 95% of the time. There's a book called The Gift of Fear, and it's a really scary book, but it's a really good book about learning to trust your instincts so you don't get involved with crazy people who could hurt you. And one of the things he stresses is to trust your instinct. And that's something I have to tell you too. It's like, if your gut is telling you it's not the right time to do something, pay attention to it. Ask yourself why. Find out. Maybe it is fear. And if it is fear, then maybe you do need to take that step and give yourself a little push. But if it's instinct saying this is just not the right time, listen to it, pay attention to it, and follow it. Because your body and your subconscious can read signals that your conscious might not see. So anyway, that's pretty much what I wanted to tell you today. Sometimes you have to switch gears, and it's okay. It's all right. Sometimes you have to make a decision to turn the other way, and that's all right. Tell me about times when you have had to make a decision like that in your life, and why you decided to or not to. Let's talk about it in the comments. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Sam and I will be here next week with another Living Disabled video. The week after that, I will have an interview with my best friend, who is also my astrologer. And let's see, and next Saturday, I'll have something new for you too. So I will talk to you later. Take care. Bye-bye. And have a wonderful weekend.